All right, here is the startup procedure for this 2001 Road King, which is carbureted. So before we get into the switches and whatnot, most important thing you want to do is make sure this is pointing down. That's your normal. Here's off. Here's reserve. Reserve is supposed to be about 0.9 gallons, so you probably have around 30 miles, but don't test it. If the bike starts dying out, flip it to reserve and definitely head to a gas station. The fuel gauge is accurate, but it actually goes way beyond empty before it'll hit the reserve, so just something to be aware of. So procedure is normal like any other bike, except it's carbureted and it's got a Mikuni. So first thing we do, grab this little dongle here, which is your idle control. If the bike is cold or it's cold out or it hasn't been ridden in a while, usually 4 rolls forward that way is enough. All right, you're going to make sure the fuel is on, otherwise you're going to get 50 feet and then conk out. And then you're going to want to pull the choke. So it has multiple positions, and it actually even has a little more if you pull and hold it, but that's really going to get you a good start. So on, you'll see these things light up. Both the engine and the key go off as long as the key is in the area. Want to make sure it's in neutral, otherwise if you hit start, it's going to jump forward. And then on the switch here, want to obviously make sure this is on. All right, and so what I normally do is, and this would be tricky to do one-handed, but I usually pull and hold the choke with one hand, and with the other hand, I push the start button, which I'm going to do like this. I release the choke. And as you can see, she's running, 1,300 RPMs, maybe more. If we start rolling the idle this guy back, you'll notice as we do it gently, it'll start slowing down. For a carbureted bike with the Mikuni, you want to stick to the 1,000 to 1,100 RPMs. It'll run below it, and it might even kind of sound cool, but at the same time, what ends up happening is you get lower fuel pressure. Not really an issue with this bike because it's got a modified pump, but in general, from off idle, from stops and starts, everything, it'll run better at 1,000 to 1,100. You're not giving up any major gas mileage or anything like that. So that's the start procedure. You have the choke out to begin with, just to give it a good fast start, make sure it fires right away, and then push it back in right away, and then start rolling it back, let it sit for maybe 10, 15 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, whatever, at above 1,100, and then start rolling it back when you're ready to go, and you're off to the races at that point. After you've ridden for a minute or two and you come to a stop, you might notice the RPMs have elevated again, so it might be, you might have gotten it down to 1,100, and now it's back down to 12, or up to 12 or 13. Just roll it back a little bit more. It's easy to reach, and this doesn't get hot. It's insulated, and it's resting on the tappet cover, so you should be all set.